Imagine embarking on an unforgettable journey through the heart of Italy, where every turn is a new treasure and every moment is filled with beauty and culture. You start your adventure in Rome, the eternal city. Next, you venture into the rolling hills of Tuscany, where the air is perfumed with the scent of vineyards and olive grove. The journey continues to Venice, the floating city of canals and gondolas, after Five Earth and Milan. But your Italian adventure doesn't end on land. It's about to get even more extraordinary. A magical journey through Italy, topped off with a house music festival on Costa Cruise. Dance under the stars, relax in style, and discover exclusive performances on deck, all while sailing to some of the most beautiful destinations. There are 3 packages to choose from. Sailing dates are from September 24th through the 28th, 2025. Book yours now at festivaloncruise.com.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Heidi's house. Today's episode is amazing because our featured guest is Jerry Ropero. He is a music producer, artist, DJ, entrepreneur, and much more. I'm very happy and excited to have him joining to our podcast. So are you ready to hear more about his house music story? Then let's go. So here he is, Jerry Ropero himself at Heidi's House podcast. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Thank you. It's so cool to be here. I like your logo.
I'm so happy that you were able to attend this, and I'm so happy and sure also that our viewers are gonna enjoy this episode. So again, welcome to our Heidi's House podcast that is about embracing the house music and house music global community, artists, producers, DJs, influencers, radio personalities, and you impersonate many of those already in person.
Really?
The DJ, artist, music producer. So we have a lot to talk. I know, and I'm so excited about this. So
I'm so ready.
So since you are our featured guest, let's start by going to our first question, which is for those watchers who might not be so familiar, would you share us who is Jerry Ropero?
How many hours can we have this podcast? Because that's a very crazy question. Who is Jerry Ropero? Jerry Ropero is just a guy who loves music and started at the early age, like I guess everybody did. And I really fell in love with house music back then already, when house music didn't even exist yet. I'm talking 80s, Rick Astley time ago. And then I started really playing. I was like 15, 16 years. And with 17, I started producing with very minimal thing.
Mhm.
The rest is history, obviously. And I love my work as a producer also, not only as a DJ. I'm more like a little bit of retired as a DJ, not retarded, retired as a DJ. And but yeah, I produce because I love to produce music. So I was never a trend follower. Like now you have to do EDM, now you have to do this. I do the music I like. If people like it, I'm happy. If they don't like it, I'm happy too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I've been many years behind the curtains with my own label in Germany during 14 years, my own 2 publishing companies. So it's not only always in front of the people, but also, in the back, working with people and helping a lot of people, not to get screwed, actually.
Yeah.
This is what I like the most of, the not getting screwed. I know this business, this sharking business, so well inside out. Only 35 years, I think, or 32 years in the business. So what I try is to help them and say, okay, what's here, what's that. Actually, I'm still doing the same thing as a consultant a lot of times.
Yes.
That's a little bit Jerry Ropero.
That's very, very much already there in a little bit, but I do know that you could actually take a long time taking more closer look of each of those areas that you just mentioned briefly. So I don't know, maybe we have to do a sequel at some point.
I did the radio edit of my life in the music business. You know.
Exactly. Oh, that's amazing, and the like you were saying, 32 years, if I heard right, 32, 35 years.
Yeah, that's what I think. You know, in my age, we don't remember too many things anymore. But yeah, I think it's something. I think it's something like that. Well, I started 15. I was 15. I'm gonna turn 53. So yeah, I think I am probably right.
But you have done a lot. You have done a lot, and in various areas, like you mentioned, in music production, in entrepreneurship, in consulting, also helping, having your labels there. You know, we can say that you have seen it from all sides of the business.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's what I would say too. Yeah. Spot on. Exactly. Yeah. Very good.
All right. So then I would like to continue to next question. You kind of touch it a little bit, but what would you say, Jerry, what got you originally to house music? Like, why house? What is it about house music that touches you?
The rhythm. First of all, the rhythm. I come from a musical family. I was born in Belgium, but though I have a Spanish passport, that's another story for another day. And my grandfather back then from Belgium, he was an eminence in the jazz world. He was really like recognized jazz musician, big band musician, singer, drummer, percussionist in Belgium. So as I was, spending a lot of time at my grandparents' place, I grew up with jazz. And jazz, bossa nova, the whole thing. And I love the whole beats, the dance beats back then. I just told you, Rick Astley, Kylie Minogue, all these things, and it was really moving me already a lot. And I think everything got like in a fusion, and the jazz chords, the bossa nova chords, and then developing to, let's say, first the whole soulful house stuff, and I did crazy music as well back then. I even did breakbeat and stuff. But but it was always like very challenging, because now I'm going to speak more about this a little bit later. I do everything because I think it's fun. If it's not fun, I don't do it. That's the way I live.
I have to say that I share the same thing.
You see. So when I see people on social media like, oh, weekend is over, oh, Monday is there, it's just, I think, because you're not doing something that you really love or that you really have fun. I think the fun element is what is lacking nowadays in every kind of department of life. That's what I think. We should have more fun.
True. I am with you on that. So people, join us.
Join the fun conversation.
Yes, fun factor.
Fun factor.
You mentioned that I remember those times. What is it? Stock Aitken, Waterman. Those
were the
producers who were making those very timeless, memorable, very popular hits, and that influenced popular music in many ways. I do believe also house music has probably got some kind of influences from them as well. So.
At least in Europe. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the sound, Chicago sound, where actually house is born. I believe that Chicago house is born. We don't have to forget we have like house in Europe as well.
Exactly.
It was called Euro dance back then.
True.
For a reason.
True. You are right.
So I respect very much them. Maybe a lot of people's going to be angry now with me, which is good too. But it was the house from the States. But we are our own house style too.
True.
Different. But then I think it's all about fusion. you know, when we took elements from them, they took elements from us, and then that's what brought us all together. That's what I think.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's truly a dialogue, you know, that it does originate maybe from
Right.
somewhere, but then it starts to live the life of its own by the way that it touches
Right,
people over
right,
here in this part, and
right.
but it's kind of
Right.
adding, and it is that kind of how do you say it, syncretism, or what was the would be the right word for that, but
I
really,
think it would be synchronicity. I'm not
yes,
very sure of it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Please correct me, people, if you hear me.
It's
No,
okay.
but you know, Heidi, it's actually very simple. You know, nobody owes anything, and back then it was like really you had the house people and the trance people.
Mm,
That were the two big ones, and then you had, of course, R&B, rap, etc. But it was not really considered dance music. But we had people who was doing trance, and then you had people doing house, and those were like two different fronts. Like trance is better, house is better, trance is better. Okay, blah 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 blah. But nowadays, even me, I get confused when I go Beatport, Tracks, or whatever it is, Spotify, and I'm like, okay, I never heard about this genre.
yeah.
But then when you listen, you have really background. You say, well, this is trance with a couple of new different beat songs, but whatever it is, but this is trance.
Yeah.
Actually, we're not inventing anything new,
Yeah.
just an evolution of, again, mixing one ingredient of one side and the other.
Absolutely.
Nothing else.
Evolution.
Everything is invented already. Everything is invented. Even AI existed before already in its form. So, yeah. But that's that. But I love. I mean, I still love house music, and that's yeah. It's that's it. I can't explain. I don't have like think blood or something. Sometimes you know I think at the hospital wherever it is, they're gonna take a house sample actually out of my veins, not a blood sample. And I love house. That's
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's why we are sharing on these personal house music journeys also, because that's part of our lifestyle and way of being, so to share and
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
absolutely,
House
absolutely.
is a lifestyle. Yes, yes.
Then my next question would be, and
Surprise me.
I would like to know, this is something that you kind of mentioned already before, but a bit. But what would you say? What kind of artists have inspired your music the most? Can you name some of the artists that somehow have touched you the most? And I mean, it doesn't need to be a house genre, but
I would be very unrespectful if I answer with some names
Ah.
because I would probably forget one or the other.
Oh, okay.
So I think from the whole spectrum of music that I have always listened to, like from let's say Bon Jovi, U2, to Coltrane, to whoever it is, when the quality of music, because I would say first I'm a musician, right? I'm a musician before a DJ, before a producer, whatever. I'm a musician. So if the quality of the music, if it's music that touches my heart, I directly get inspired. I say, I like that. Why not transform it to house? Why not transform it to these kind of beats? What can I learn from what they're showing me with their talent?
Yeah.
And I'm a pupil of all of them. So the way it's very difficult, if I would say, okay, Morillo, who was a very good friend of mine, he inspired me. He inspired me in certain things, obviously. Gigueta, another great guy. It's not really the kind of music I would be listening to the whole day, but he inspires me in maybe a couple of other elements. So, but also, like I just said, Bono from U2. It's not really the music I'm going to be listening the whole day because it's not really touching me too much. But the way they do some of the things, maybe just a guitar riff or whatever it is, it's again giving me inspiration. And I think that's how people should act. Listen to everybody, learn from them, because we're constant learning things, and for sure in the music, and for sure in the music business, the way it is nowadays, which is really hard, like for sure for upcomers. But let yourself inspire. Don't copy. But inspire.
That's a very good advice, I would say, and I have to agree with that. And what I'm hearing is really that you have that openness for different influences, and since you are being open, it also supports and keeps that beautiful creativity alive when you are always kind of like, oh, okay, this might be something.
Yeah.
So the learning process is continuous, and that can be super inspiring, and it can
And fun.
and fun, and it never actually ends because there's
Never
always
ever.
something to be inspired of. So
Never
that's
ever.
beautiful. So
And
that's
let's
good
not
advice
forget.
also.
Thank you very much. And let's not forget, I want really people to always remember that music goes hand in hand with culture.
Yeah.
And I think this is a golden advice for everybody. And if you understand this symbiosis, you will understand a lot about music
True.
and about business.
True.
Always.
True.
Always.
Very deep insight on this topic, actually. And again, we could, I think, talk even about another episode on that topic, but I'm gonna lead you, Jerry, now to fourth question, which might be a bit tricky, and it might be again unfair, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. So
Try your luck. Try your luck.
well, you answer if you I'm gonna see if I'm lucky.
Try your luck.
But out of all the house tracks and so on, I know this might be tricky to answer to, but are there some special house tracks that are close to your heart? Let's say something that you can hear again over and over and over, and it still touches you. Are there some of house tracks?
From my own tracks?
Yeah, or in general, house music. Some tracks that.
I thought about my own tracks. Okay.
We'll
About my own tracks.
We'll go there.
Okay. Then I'm gonna give you the answer later. House tracks that I could be many of them. And music is mood.
Yeah.
And maybe tomorrow morning I'm going to be like, okay, I want to listen to the new Bob Sinclair thing he did again in Italy, and I think it's a genius. But the next day I'm like, Bob Sinclair today? No way. I just want to listen to a little bit of soulful house music. So it's like you can never say tomorrow I'm gonna wear that, or at least I can't say, because if I think tomorrow I'm gonna wear black, and then I wake up and I feel for color, there we are already, with the mashed potato thing in my head.
Yeah.
So really tracks I could listen over and over again. Wasn't so bad. Unfortunately, I don't have so much time.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to. But one which pops right now in my head is like Minister of Funk.
Mm-hmm.
That track with Jocelyn Brown, I think it was, right? Jocelyn Brown.
Yeah.
Correct me. I just forgot the name. But this is really a track which gives me a lot of very good mood. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And I understand it's a tricky question, and especially for a person who has such a long career, and you also having a background there in DJ, you have heard, I don't know, tens of thousands of tracks, probably, or even more. So
probably
it might be a little bit mission impossible. But I think the thing that you replied in your previous answer, the openness to great music, is the key there. Whether it's something that it may be more classic house, or if it's something that has been just released, but having open attitude, I think I'm kind of catching that kind of vibe from you. Getting it right.
Probably, I don't know.
All right, but now we are gonna go to that question. Out of your own tracks, which ones are somehow more special to you, and maybe why?
I always compare this to somebody saying like, who of your kids do you prefer?
Yes, I know, it's horrible.
Let me tell you like this. In the beginning, I loved them all, and then later I said, oh my God, I hate them. So If I can avoid listening to my own music, I will certainly do. I will certainly do. And it's not about just the song that I say it's giving me a special touch. It's the story actually that I remember on how this song happened, you know. And those are really always very funny stories because I never went to the studio and said, today I'm gonna make a hit. Forget about that. It will never work. Today I'm just gonna have fun. I don't care. This bass drum sounds so shitty, but let's try it anyway. And then let's put this, and then you hear a lot of bullshit sounding, and you're saying, like, okay, what the hell am I doing today? And but then out of try, let me give you this. This is important. Why does music sound the same nowadays? And I tell you why. Back then, when we had really recording studios, and for each new sound, you actually had to buy a new synthesizer. So this was not very affordable for the people, not even for me when I was starting. So we really had to learn what a synthesizer is, but which means how to make a sound. So there was no sampling a sound or going to splice and taking the loop. And we really had to like, okay, I have a bass line in my head. I don't know how to make this sound. So you really are working for just one bass sound, maybe 3-4 days. So days where it started being very original and genuine. That's why different people had different sounds. And then you could say, okay, if I listen to this producer or to this DJ who's producing, I know what sound I'm going to get because it's his own sound. And I have absolutely no idea how I did that sound. But then the reverse was exactly the same with me. So that's where the originality, was born. Nowadays, everybody's using the same because we have too many options. Let me give you a stupid example. It's like those dating sites. Why back then people could achieve staying together 30, 40, 50, 60 years together? Because there were not millions of options on a phone or wherever it was. So they really had to start by respecting themselves, loving themselves, and get to know each other every day again. Nowadays, it's like, okay, I don't like her. To the left. I don't like her. To the left. Oh, I like her. To the right. You speak 3 times with this person. Oh, no, I don't like what she's saying. Ciao again. So it's actually the same in music. You have to say, it's not easy today, but I want to do this sound. Now, when I have this sound, I'm going to respect my sound and I'm going to do my thing. That's why I said in the beginning, I always gave a shit about trends. Because funny enough, then the trend was going there, and I was like doing a Latin house track, and everybody, Jerry, but nobody's listening to this shit anymore. You should do music like that. I don't care. To me, it's no fun to do this. I don't understand it. I don't feel it. I don't know how to do it. I don't even want to know how they do it. I'm just going to say what they did. But then all of a sudden, this house or this Latin house track becomes a hit. And all those, like, oh, fuck, this is so amazing. And how did you do that? I'm like, I don't really know which organs they use to listen, because if you use your ears, you will really notice, and this is true what I'm saying, that I have done already 7 records with exactly the same bass line. So no, it's nothing new. So what do I mean by that? It's like, respect yourself, do what you love, and get to know yourself better in the studio. Take time with yourself. Take time in finding songs, in creating new songs. It may be combining. You can combine loops and this and that until you create your own sound, right? But don't do like on the dating app where you say, I'm tired. I'm going to go to the next place, because then what you're going to have is a burnout. You say, you know what? Fuck the studio. I don't want to listen to music anymore. Because you heard a million trillion things. And not even 90% of what you heard is really touching you, like you say. And then if it's not touching you, it's no fun, then you quit.
Yes. And I love that, because you kind of like when through those aspects that are super important for the producer. Also, you could apply it for the artists. You know,
Yeah.
instead of copying, doing your own thing. You know, that applies in such many areas in life, actually. And again, then connection to the happiness, connection also to quality instead of quantity, all this kind of things.
Right.
Many
Right.
elements. So I hope those aspiring producers and artists, maybe, that they are able to take this wisdom from your words, because there truly is a lot of wisdom on that. And when the music, you know, start to be just like, you know, dating world or relationship, if it start to be like consumerism and this kind of consumerism oriented, it starts to really lack more
Getting
deeper
bored.
meaning and
Already.
value, and yeah, those kind of things. So
We
so
are not routine people. We are not routine people. You know, they call us crazy, but that's true. But who is calling us crazy? People go into a 9 to 5 job. Okay, I can understand, right? We're differently wired. But for us, routine is a killer. If you keep on doing the same, you're gonna hate music. You're gonna hate the industry. You're gonna hate everything, right? So that's very important to know also. And it's not that I have wisdom. It's just that I did so many mistakes
sure.
that, and it's not true that you learn from your mistakes. This is something I want to point out. You don't learn from your mistakes. You just make them. If
Yeah.
you would learn out of your mistakes, like I love to listen to read on social media, if you would learn out of your mistake, you wouldn't be making mistakes anymore. And that's a mistake, right?
Well
You
said,
don't
well
need to
said.
learn because you're gonna
Yeah.
mistake again.
Yes.
How boring would life be without doing mistakes? My God, we need failure. Failure is cool.
Exactly. And
Failure
then
is really cool.
it's experimenting, you know, being innovative. That's what the creativity and innovation and is all about, you know. So I feel you on that. Now, Jerry, we have.
And
Oh, sorry.
and honestly, one second. It's not about having hits. So your musicality, you being a genius in the music, you being a genius as a producer, whatever it is, doesn't depend on having a hit or not. You can be doing a lot of great music, never have a hit, and still be happy. So people listening or watching this, don't think that because you don't have a hit, that you're shit. Hit and shit has nothing to do one
Yeah.
thing with the other.
Remember that.
Clearly,
And
remember that.
I agree. It brings the happiness and well-being in life when you can really express yourself and use
Yeah.
the creativity that you were
Yeah.
given, you know. So this interview is very brief. Let's say kind of like a snapshot kind of thing to each artist. But Jerry, I would like you to share on two things, since you have made such a long-term contribution to music, house music, in music in general, in music production, helping people, and much more. So I would just like you to share us what is currently going, you know, current projects, and what can we expect in near future. A little bit from that.
You can expect what you always expected from me. A lot of shit or a lot of hits. No, I'm joking. I'm doing new music constantly. So if people follow me on social media or Spotify, wherever they want to follow me, they will see that I regularly do music. So it's not a surprise to say, oh, I'm going to have new releases. I'm releasing them all the time just because I love what I do and because I want people to have a good time when they listen to my music. So, guys, you know, and you will see, I just did a track which is called Darkness. It's going to be released, I don't know when, very soon. And this has absolutely nothing to do with Jerry Ropero style. You listen to this, this is Jerry Ropero. What happened to him? Well, what happened to me is that that day I felt for doing something crazy. My mood was maybe a little bit darker, and I found these kind of sounds. I said, let's put them together and let's try doing something. And there it is. You know, I don't expect everybody to like what I do.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm constantly renewing music, of course, doing new Latin house track as well. That's a surprise, actually. A remake of a remix that I did many years ago, and that is still in people's head. That's what I can talk about. Talking about Corazao, very important as well, because this year, 2024, Corazao has his 20th anniversary. Believe it or not, I'm shocked myself. People still love it. I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that. And what else? Oh yeah, I'm actually in the making. I started this morning to do another very crazy pumping. Actually, I don't know how to call it, but it's very pumping, very jacking, maybe techie, with some acid sounds. Well, I was actually surprised myself. I said, Jerry, okay, my God, where are you going again? What's the direction of this? But I was excited and having fun again.
Yeah.
So I said, keep working on it. So yeah, you will see, this is Jerry, almost 53 years old, who is just banging out tracks.
You are doing your own thing, and I absolutely love it. And I know that's why people love probably to, follow you and grow with you and take that musical journey with you, because you keep it fresh and exciting. And that's what I wish people will take also, some kind of inspiration from this interview that we had. So,
Heidi, this is very simple. People, listen to this. It's very simple. Well, I'm going to tell you. Why I think I'm successful is because I don't take life seriously at all. Never did. Never did. I know that something can happen to me in whatever second now, or whatever second always. So why take life seriously? Because you can either have fun in life or either be suffering and crying. And, okay, yeah, well, a lot of shit happens. That's true. Now, depends on how you're going to cope with it. That's also my other part of my other job that we can talk about if you want to. And believe me, for me, it's not easy either. From a mental health, everybody by now know that I'm a bipolar 2 patient. I'm on heavy medication. I'm very happy for that. It's giving me a great life, but it can happen in whatever moment. So I just don't take life seriously, people. Now.
And I think that is something that you can express in your music. How do you say? I don't know. I have it in French, joie de vivre. I had that phrase in my mind, and I think that's the beauty of music, because the music is there to support and help us to express emotions. And I love the fact that you bring that message of joy and enjoying of life to people. That's a beautiful message to convey to people. Now, I want to thank you for this interview. Just, Jerry, if as a final thing for those watchers who might want to follow you in social media, where can we find you?
To be honest, I'm only active on Instagram.
Okay.
I don't have time for TikToks, etc. I know that I have accounts everywhere. Sometimes my team is like uploading something. Sorry. So Jerry Ropero official. That's it. It's very easy to find on Instagram, and I'm not really into. I like my life too. I every day appreciate more my offline life as well. And though it always sounded very cliche, and now in this era of my life, I'm learning about it. It's like the little things are so incredible, And of course, I have to say, over there is my dog Jay. Everybody knows him already. My very good friend Mijangos, the producer. Andres Mijangos, he put him he gave him this name called Mana J, right? He's my manager, and he's called Jay, my dog. So if you did, then it's Mana J. I love him to death. He's giving me a lot of love. Animals are amazing, and just go out and walk with Jay. That's it. That's it. In the morning, I wake up. I do like this. I swear to God, I do like this. Oh, arm is working. Left arm is working. Oh, legs are working too. Great. Let's go. Like checking like on an airplane.
So
thanks for this interview.
I am thanking you. I sent you much love, and now we are gonna continue to the mini mix. And again, much love from all the way from Helsinki to amazing Jerry Ropero, who brings us joyful music to our everyday.
Always. Thank you.